So in this video today, I'll be going over my build for Storm in Marvel's Midnight Suns, and I'll be explaining her gameplay a little bit as well. So if you enjoyed this video today, feel free to like and subscribe for future Marvel content. So I'll start off by going over her maximum friendship bonus, which is a passive called Rising Storm 2. So Storm attacks and heroics have a 10% chance to apply stun. Stun chance increased by 5% for each Storm card in your hand. So she has at least one ability, I believe, that you can deal increased damage if the opponent is stunned or not. So how to play? So she has an ability that's basically called Next Turn. I don't know if that's exactly what they call it, but she has an effect called Next Turn on a lot of her cards, which basically her cards get an added effect if you choose to wait with the card in your hand by one turn. So I'll go over all of her cards right now. In terms of how to play her, I mean, you can go back to that, how to play like the squad synergy and stuff like that. I think it just talks about having low heroism cost teammate cards and stuff like that to help build up her heroism and keep her cards in her hand and stuff like that, so you can build up. Not only she has cards that deal more damage if you have more Storm cards in your hand, but you can hold on to them for the next turn, and then you get that next turn buff as well. So you can also put a stun mod on other teammates' cards that you might want as well if you want to play off of her stun passive from her friendship bonus. So now I'll go over all her cards. So she has card Vortex. It gives you 1 heroism and it knockbacks each enemy in an area. And then upgraded, it adds the next turn effect of forceful knockback. So in order to get the forceful knockback effect, you have to have Vortex in your hand for 1 turn, and then you would get the next turn effect. So the next card is Gale Force, attack card, +1 heroism, forceful knockback, and then next turn adds quick. And then if you upgrade it, it just gives you the quick for free, so you don't have to wait for the next turn. And then she has an skill Overload, so destroy a conduit to apply stun to all nearby enemies. On redraw, gain 1 strengthened. And upgraded, it gives you the next turn increased area of effect, and it adds +2 heroism. This card is honestly just okay to me because you're betting on enemies being near a conduit, so it's kind of just iffy. It's not a bad card because, you know, you can apply the stun, then you can do extra damage to those enemies if you have that mod on and stuff like that. But it's still, like I said, it relies on the conduit, so to me that's just kind of iffy. Crushing Blow, so it costs 1 heroism, does 184 base damage, then it has the next turn effect plus 123 damage and +1 heroism cost, and then upgraded, it changes the damage. Yeah, so it does plus 185 damage and +1 heroism cost. So this card's not bad, but the next turn effect adding a heroism cost can be kind of annoying as well. If it kept it the same heroism cost at 1, this card would be a lot better in my opinion. And then Arc, so Arc is an attack, it's rare, so it gives you +1 heroism, has a base damage of 61, and then it chains 1, and then if you wait 1 for the next turn, it gives you +2 additional chains, so that should be 3. So it's not that it changes the chain from 1 to 2, it should add 2, so the total chain should be 3. And then upgraded, it changes the next turn chain to +3, so that means if you wait for the next turn, it should be chain 4. And then she has a rare skill called Storm Shield. Apply 2 resist to all allies while in hand. Storm gains 1 resist each turn. So obviously this is a very good support ability if you want to choose to play her as more of a support. And then upgraded, apply 2 resist and 1 counter to all allies. And then Livewire costs 1 heroism, so it applies stun, and that obviously, you know, can be played off of again if you have a mod on your card that deals extra damage to stun enemies. And then upgraded, while in hand, Storm has +61 offense, so it makes Storm even stronger. And then Goddess's Blessing, draw 1 Storm card, activate next turn on all Storm cards in your hand, and then upgraded, it draws 2 Storm cards and activates next turn on all Storm cards in your hand. So this one's really good in my opinion because you can get the next turn going for free and you draw more cards of Storm. So that one's really good in my opinion. Call the Lightning is one of her best moves easily. So costs 3 heroism, does 246 damage each enemy in an area, and then the next turn is increased area effect. And then upgraded, it simply increases the damage. And then the final legendary card is Hellstorm, costs 3 heroism, has a base of 184 damage. Deal 184 damage for each Storm card in your hand. And then next turn, draw 2 Storm cards and exhaust. And then upgraded, it's just draw 3 Storm cards. So now I'll go over what my deck looks like in all of the mods and stuff like that. So you can play Storm in a lot of different ways. I think the best way to try to play anybody is by doing just trying to get as much quick as possible, and trying to hit as many enemies as possible, and then having mods on that, like I said, are either quick, or you want strengthened, or marked, or draw a card, and stuff like that. So here's what my deck looks like. So I have Arc, and it has a mod on it to increase the damage to 123 for a base. And then I have 2 Gale Force pluses. One Gale Force I have just on redraw plus 1 Heroism. I haven't really gotten lucky with that mod. And then I have on KO draw a card. And obviously these are both upgraded, so they have quick. So that's why I also have them as well, because it's a free forceful knockback with the quick automatically. And then I have Vortex, so you can either have Vortex or you can replace this Vortex with another Arc. Like, I would definitely see another Arc being just as viable. I personally have the Vortex on here simply because it can add a little bit of crowd control if I need it. I haven't modded for just simply increased damage. I haven't gotten like a quick or anything or a marked with it quite yet. And then Goddess's Blessing, so I have the mod for adding 3 Heroism instead of 2. And this, obviously, you activate all the next turn cards, all the next turns on all your Storm cards in your hand, and then you draw 2. And then I have 2 Call to Lightnings with the same thing. I have 58% chance to apply 1 marked. So this is obviously good because it's an area of effect attack anyway. So you can hit multiple enemies at once, and you have a 50% chance to mark any of them, which obviously if an enemy is marked and you kill that marked enemy, it acts as quick, so you get the card play refunded. And then I have Hellstorm, her legendary card, which I also think is really good. So it deals 184 damage for each card in Storm's hand. And if I have the mod, if target has full health plus 61 damage. Again, it wasn't the luckiest mod, but it is what it is. So this is obviously really good because if you pull this and you're fighting like a hard enemy, like a boss or anything, you can just pop an item that like draws 4 additional cards, and or 2. There's the one that just draws 4 cards, I believe, and then there's one that draws 2 more hero specific cards. So you could try to do them both to pull as many Storm cards as possible, and you can get this to do really high damage. But that wraps it up for my Storm build video. I'm going to end the video with some gameplay of my deck in action. So comment down below how you might want to build your Storm in Marvel's Midnight Suns. And if you enjoyed this video today, feel free to like and subscribe for future Marvel content, and I appreciate you for watching the video.
By her command!
Show them what happens when you mess with the Midnight Suns.
Don't sound like much.
Are you prepared?
That must have taken practice.
The forces of nature conspire against us. I will deliver you from the grasp. The elements bow to me. This is what you came for.
Crude, but effective.
Brace yourself.
Nice move, bub.
Look to the sky. I will show you true power.
This just in from the National Weather Service.
Ouch! There will be no escape.
1.21 gigawatts! Great Scott!
I doubt they'll take that beating to heart, but we can always hope.